kick off this panel. Welcome, teachers. My name is Chad, and I've been hosting the Unconference. I'm so excited to host this panel entitled What's Next for Teachers with three of our product managers here at Quizlet. I will let them introduce themselves, and be sure to put all of your questions in the Q&A tool on the bottom of the Zoom, not in the chat. Definitely interact with each other and share with the panelists some thoughts and ideas in the chat, but if you want questions for the end of the panel, please add it to the Q&A. So from there, I will hand it over to our hosts.
Hi everyone, I can get started. My name is Vanessa Wheat. I'm a product manager on the subscriptions growth team at Quizlet.
Hi everyone, I'm Cori. I'm a product manager on the growth side. I do all things activation, onboarding, and helping make sure that you get set up for success.
Hi everyone, Kara on the growth team as well. I'm a product manager for the re-engagement team, doing what we can to keep students engaged.
Great, and welcome. I'm going to be sharing our presentation, so one sec while I get that set up. All right. I think, Cori, you'll be taking us off once we get this loaded. One moment. Cool, all set?
Awesome. Well, I'm so excited to get to talk with you all about a couple things that we're doing on the growth side. So Vanessa, you want to go to the next slide. One of the first things that'll be new for back to school this year, which you might have already taken advantage of this summer, is individuals mode for Quizlet Live. So historically, Quizlet Live is a loved game, I think, by many. And if you haven't used Quizlet Live, I highly recommend it. It's a great way to engage your students and to help them make sure that they're retaining information inside of the classroom. We also have a lot of content on our blog posts about how to use Quizlet Live effectively, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already read those posts. But today, knowing that we're in this new world where we're doing a lot of things alone together, as we call it, you can now actually have your students in the classroom play individually but still together. So when you go to play Quizlet Live, after you select your set, when it asks you how you would like to play, you'll now select individuals mode as opposed to teams mode, and that'll sort each of your students into their own individual team. Everything else will remain the same, but you'll just need at least 2 students with 6 terms to get started. So definitely, at the end we'll be doing any Q&A, so if you have any questions, please feel free to hold on to those and we'll make sure we get those answered. And then if you go to the next slide, something that we've just actually released last week is our free teacher referrals program. So if you're not a subscriber yet, you'll now be able to refer your colleagues, refer other teachers, and have them experience the joy of Quizlet, and you'll be rewarded for that. So you'll get an opportunity to get a taste of using all of our subscription features. So when you go and log into your logged in homepage now, you'll now see the option to share a personalized link. You can share that via email, text, social media, and then when your colleague subscribes or signs up for an account, you'll be rewarded with 30 days of subscription product up to an entire year. So you can refer up to 12 colleagues. We currently only have this released for free teachers, but shortly we'll be releasing this for our current subscribers as well, because we want to make sure that you all get rewarded for all your hard work in helping to evangelize our product.
Great. Hi, everyone. As I mentioned, part of my job is bringing to life features that keep students engaged, meaning that what that means for us at Quizlet is that they're coming back and studying with us on a regular basis as part of their ongoing learning journey. And so we wanted to make it easier, especially with everything going on with remote and distance learning, for a way to students to stay on track with what's happening in their class actually on Quizlet. So we built an activity center that lets students know about updates to their class, including like when new materials are added to their classroom. And this is already accessible on iPhone and Android for students, and it will be available on the website in August. And the reasons that we kind of wanted to build this at this time is we know that a lot of students don't often access their email, and it's kind of difficult to sometimes get important updates about their study directly in their hands, and this is hopefully an easier way to do that. So students will receive notifications in their activity center when you invite them to a class, add new material or sets to their class, or make changes to their study materials. So there'll also be some like fun reminders for them to create their own study sets, or play their friends and match. So hoping that it's kind of a central place where they can kind of feel connected, even if they're not physically in the classroom. So to get to this on the website, they just have to click their profile image, and then they'll see a little bell icon, which you can see a little image of it on the screen here, where they get updates about these sorts of reminders. So we hope to continue to expand what type of information lives here and what type of updates we're able to provide here for our students. So we're really excited about this, and we think it's just another way that we can help students feel involved in the classroom, even if they're not physically in the class. And I think that was all on my end. So we might be really quickly able to move into Q&A, Chad, if that works for you.
Yeah. So teachers that are attending this panel, go ahead and add questions to the Q&A tool on the bottom. I'm seeing questions file in, so I'll go ahead and ask that to the panel, and then we can go from there. Does that sound great, PMs?
Yeah, and I have one more thing to talk about after that. If we want to do a couple questions
yes.
on
yes.
Karen, Cori's part, or we can jump into my
sorry,
section.
go ahead, Vanessa.
No
ahead,
problem.
Vanessa.
Cool. So as I mentioned at the top of the panel, my team that I work on deals with the subscription products at Quizlet. So Quizlet Plus for students and Quizlet Teacher for teachers. So we work on all the great features that are part of those subscription services. So one that we are super excited that we have just launched for back to school are the custom multiple choice options for the multiple choice questions. This are the modes within learn mode and test mode. To date, they have typically just been based on the other terms in the sets. So in talking to the teachers leading up to this, we learned that multiple choice questions are great. They're the easiest to grade, but they're also the hardest to create. They're just a lot more manual, and a lot of times the answers are a little too obvious. So sometimes you just don't get the sense that the students are really truly understanding the content, because the guessing is a little too easy. So we wanted to take a look at the multiple choice questions to see how we can make that better. And the result is the custom multiple choice options. So now when you are creating your sets, you can go in and select the option to add your own multiple choice answers. So this can make it so you can really test to make sure that the students understand the material, and the students really just have to take a little bit more time and think through the answers rather than just clicking through really quickly, because they can kind of understand and see which ones are the distractors. So we're super excited about this feature. We think it's a great option for kicking off the start of class to get the students engaged, or even at the end of class to do a quick check to see how well the students have understood the content of the class you just took. So this is launched. It's still in beta phase, but for all of our teacher subscribers, this is now available. So you can see this when you are creating the sets. And if you go in and once you've created the question and the answer, there's an option to add multiple choice options, and you can add up to 3 custom distractors. So definitely give it a try if you're already a teacher subscriber, or if you're a free teacher right now. It's available if you sign up for the free trial, or if you refer another teacher. As Cori mentioned, you'll get access to a free trial and you'll be able to test out this great new feature. And coming up, I think after this session at 12:30, Jordan and Liz are going to be telling you all about the other awesome features that come with the teacher subscription. So definitely come back after lunch for that session.
Well, so I think with that, are we safe to move into questions?
Yep.
Cool. So from this question tool, here's a question. I think this is for Kara. What kind of fun reminders? Because some students complain about too many notifications or emails they receive.
So most of the reminders that we have in place today are around getting invites to classes or having like new study materials added to their class. And right now, students can control a lot of those notifications for email within their settings. So if they're feeling like they're getting too many, they can definitely go in and adjust those on like a per class basis. And in terms of the activity center, that is something that is updates automatically. It doesn't have quite the same preference controls at the moment, although it's definitely something we're aware of and are being mindful if we do hear those types of concerns with students. But right now it updates automatically and students don't need to do anything on their end to set it up. It's just kind of a place for them to go to check about updates if they want to.
Great, thank you for that, Kara. And then this one following up on Vanessa's section is, and Vanessa, perhaps Jordan and Liz will discuss this a bit more. How could you assign the multiple choice questions as a bell ringer? Do you have any stories or samples of how teachers are using that as a bell ringer or an exit ticket on their way out of class or out of the virtual classroom?
That's a good question. I don't have any, this is kind of feedback when we tested this with some of the teachers. A lot of the teachers said, oh, this would be great for this example. So I think just assigning this set to be tested, having the students go into the test mode for the, if you send them the actual set that they can go in and go into the test mode for a particular set that you've already created the custom options for.
Great. And then I'm going through the questions. Teachers are submitting them. There's questions are growing. Cori, can you give a little bit more of an explanation between Quizlet Live individual versus Quizlet Live teams?
Yeah, definitely. So today, if you're using Quizlet Live, say you had 20 students in your classroom and you wanted either 5 or 4 teams, Quizlet would auto match students to teams and they would play together, which is a little challenging when you're not together because the way Quizlet Live was set up was that the teams actually have to work collaboratively because the answers are spaced out amongst the students' screens, so they have to work together. And so obviously in this world in which we're not all together but alone together, it becomes a little more challenging and difficult. And so with individuals, you now are on a team of 1. So each student would be 1 team so that they're able to have the full access to all the answers so that they can answer and progress within the game.
And then a follow-up question for you, Cori, on Quizlet Live. When we were doing remote learning, I frequently had students get booted off Quizlet Live or have lag time where they couldn't answer. They got very frustrated because they couldn't win. When it happened at school, I assumed it was the school's bandwidth. Why is it happening now?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. It's definitely something that we're looking to improve for back to school, knowing that everyone is on Quizlet right now, trying to use the same tools at the same time. So we're definitely making some investments in making sure that it's performant. But please, if you're ever having issues, feel free to tweet at us or write in a help center ticket. That really helps us escalate those issues internally so that we can get the right resources behind making it better.
Great. And then some of the questions I'm seeing, teachers, are about the different features that Quizlet Teacher has. And as Vanessa had mentioned, if you join the session at 12:30 with Jordan and Liz, you'll get a much granular breakdown of everything you can do with the different features. Just throwing that out there. For example, we have a question like, I'm looking for more clarity in how to use class progress. You can attend Jordan and Liz's session and also Meredith's session later, which is classes, folder, and progress. So I will scroll through these questions. So here's a question for all 3 PMs. I think this is just a think aloud, not an actual happen. An idea, what if students could see top times or most growth in the class in the Student Center or other shout outs compared to the learners in their class? Do we think that would encourage students to try harder at gravity or match?
Yeah, so we currently have a leaderboard for match today, which I know is something that in visiting schools is something that's super popular with teachers to use as kind of a motivator to get, students playing and challenging one another. It's definitely something that we've thought about incorporating across the product. So again, we love the feedback and love the ideas. So always feel free to write into the Help Center. And we work with all of our product specialists to kind of look at the trends of what people are asking for so that we can, see what makes sense to add into our roadmap. So love the feedback and definitely something that, we can consider.
Right,
And always helpful to understand what you think motivates your students too.
Right, and then this wasn't a question, it's a shout out from the chat. Thank you to the product managers for working on these features to supporting teachers. What a crazy time 2020 has been. LOL exclamation point. Which I think we can all agree with. And then, like I said, I'm seeing a lot of questions that will be answered a little bit later in further sessions. And so this was just to give the teachers an update on everything that's coming, hearing from the product managers on what they're working on and what they're releasing for teachers in the fall. If there aren't any other specific questions on anything that Cori or Vanessa or Kara said, I can move into the ending of this presentation and getting everyone prepped for Quizlet 101 and introduction, starting at 12. So I'll give everyone 10 seconds to add questions into the Q&A if you have more. And they are jumping into that. While the questions are loading, Kara, Cori, and Vanessa, do you have any last minute parting words or advice for our teachers with this fall, and if they're going to be in a remote environment or virtual or hybrid, any advice or inspiration you can recommend using the features that your teams have developed?
Yeah, I guess for me in parting, I just want to say thank you back. I can't imagine teaching in this environment. And so I think I can only, speak for myself and my team, but I think we have found an even higher sense of purpose and knowing just like how important education is, how important you all are and facilitating that learning and education. And so just like hats off to y'all. And, it's my honor to be able to work on, Quizlet and build these products. So please, please, please continue to tweet at us. Like I said, right into the Help Center. We read all of that and, we take that into consideration as we're building out our roadmaps and thinking about the products and even, reaching out and talking to teachers and getting feedback on those. I know we're redoing our teacher ambassador program, but that's like a great way in the future to get involved and making sure that we're keeping y'all and your students in mind as we're building and developing new things. I also would recommend checking out the blog. Like I said before, especially with Quizlet Live, there's a lot of teachers that we work with to like write really great content or even share how they're using our tools in the classroom. And in visiting a lot of classrooms, I've just been in awe of like how y'all are finding really creative ways to even use Quizlet Live. Like I went to the UK last year and there was a teacher who did kind of like a relay race where you had to like run up and down the classroom before you could answer a question and just like really, innovating and making it fun. So I would just encourage you to like try new things, experiment. We're in a weird time, but I think now is like the best time to just see what sticks and then share that with us so we can share that with the rest of the community.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to echo that from Cori. You all are heroes. You've always been heroes, but especially during these crazy times. So thank you, thank you. It's been really interesting for us to see just the number of teachers coming onto Quizlet and using the product. So it's super interesting to help us think about how we can be helping you. But it's also, reinsures the work that we're doing to help support teachers. So it just gets us even more excited to think about new ideas for how we can support you because, we don't know how long things are going to be the way they are, and we do hope that we can create some great tools for you all to be teaching in your classrooms, whether that's remotely or starting to get back into the classrooms. So we're excited, and as Chad has mentioned, and at least on my side, working on the teacher subscription service, will definitely follow up with Liz and Jordan about any questions and comments and ideas you have after the next session, getting feedback on the product, on what's working, what's not. So I will definitely take those into consideration. We love getting feedback from our users, and that's a really central part of our product strategy. So keep them coming.
Yeah, as both Cori and Vanessa said, these times are unprecedented, and we hope that there's just a bit of good that can come out of this with us building these features for y'all. And we are truly listening, and we know we can do it together. So thank you everyone for attending and kind of hearing a little bit about what we're hoping to share with everyone this season.
Very well. Thank you so much, Kara, Cori, and Vanessa. I really appreciate you. I'm sure the teachers really appreciate you. For everyone that is attending this session right now, I will see you in 9 minutes for Quizlet 101, an introduction. If you have been using Quizlet and you don't need an introductory course, I'll see you at 12:30 p.m. PDT for the Quizlet teacher benefits of the Quizlet teacher subscription. So thank you so much. Thank you for everyone bearing with us with the technical difficulties this morning. And as Kara and Cori just said, thank you so much for sharing your experience with the Quizlet and helping us also grow as a company. So thank you, everyone, and see you shortly.